Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am Paige. In today's video we are going to be making a skirt out of a satin pillowcase. Very cost effective. So we're going to start off by seam ripping the pillowcase all the way because I want to use all this fabric as much as I can. So starting off, I'm using a skirt. This skirt is it fits, but you know, it requires a little bit of extra work to fit. So that's why my cutting and measuring was a bit off. So I'm cutting the front part of the skirt first, and that's what I'm cutting more of an exact fit. I'm cutting more of an exact measurement. But I was not remembering about the fact that there's no stretch. So that's why in the back I ended up cutting like 5 inches extra, because I was like, this will make up for the front piece not being big enough if it's not. But I probably could have used about 3 inches extra and that would have been fine, because in the end I ended up having to take this skirt in more. But it's okay, because you might rather have more than not enough. So that's basically what I'm doing right here. So now we're about to add our zipper. So we're going to fold our back piece in half, and then we're going to cut it in half. And I just ironed this to make a bit of a line so I can follow when cutting with scissors, but that's optional. You don't have to do that. So now that our back piece is cut into half, whoa. So now that our back piece is cut into half. So now we cut our back piece. We have our zipper and we have our piece of fabric on the right side, and you're going to put the back side of your zipper on the right side of the fabric, if that makes any sense. I hope you guys can see it. So once you have that, you're going to flip the one side of the zipper over, and then you're going to pin that down. And you're going to leave about 1 inch of seam allowance, so keep that in mind when you're cutting your fabric, because about 1 inch or so will be gone from your zipper. So as you see here, I'm just flipping it over and I'm going to pin it into place. I do not have a presser foot. I don't have the zipper presser foot. I just have a regular presser foot, so it is a little bit more tedious. You just have to go a little slower when you're using a regular presser foot, but it can be done. You're just going to pin this down to make sure everything stays in place, and when you're sewing it down, you're going to sew as close to the zipper as you can, but do not get the stitch over the zipper, because if you do, it would not zip up, and then you're gonna have to take it out and start over again. And I did do that because, you know, sometimes I just be getting a bit too personal, a bit too fast, going too fast than I need to do. Just calm down. You don't have to rush. So yeah, I did have to end up seam ripping a little bit of mine out because I was going too fast, but just make sure you go slow. And this is not a good representation because it's sped up, but yeah, just make sure you go slow, take your time, and pay attention to getting as close to the zipper as you can, but not on the zipper. And if you have a zipper foot, then invisible zipper foot or whatever zipper foot you have, then this will be way easier because it's going to push down the zipper, so you don't even have to worry about getting a stitch through it. But it's okay, because, you know, I made it work. I made it do what it do. It zips, it's working, and that's all that matters. Okay, so now I just zipped up the zipper to see if it was working, and it is. And I'm gonna do the same exact thing that I did on one side of the fabric on the other side. You're going to put the back side of the zipper on the right side of your fabric, flip it over, pin it down, and sew slow. Remember to have the same amount of seam allowance zipper allowance. I don't really know what it'll be called, but the same amount on the other side, so that it will be the same amount of fabric once you zip it up. It'll be equal amount of fabrics once you zip it up. Okay, so this part I didn't get to film and it really makes me upset, so I'm gonna try to just talk about what I did. So the front of the fabric, I measured about 5 inches in, and then I cut 5 inches off vertically of the front of the skirt, and now I just put these right sides together, and that's what I'm sewing down. And I'm gonna sew down to where I want my split to start. If you don't want to split, then you don't have to do this part at all, but it's all up to you. So I stopped to where my split is, and I did double stitch this because I felt like it's a pretty thin fabric and I didn't want it to bust or anything, so I did double stitch. And the double stitch is basically just going over the same stitch or right next to the same stitch that you already did for a little extra security. So when I open this up, you can see a little bit better what I was talking about right here, you know what I'm saying? So this is what's creating your split. So now we're going to hem the split parts so that it's no fraying or anything. So I just fold it once, come on, and then fold it again, and then I just pin this down to keep it secure before I sew it down. And by the way, this whole time I've been using a straight stitch. If I needed a little bit more security, then I did just double stitch it, but I've been using a straight stitch the whole time. I feel like it is the best stitch to working with this delicate fabric with no stretch. So now I'm using a sheet for the lining of my skirt, a black sheet. I felt like this will be the best for me because I'm always sweating and I don't want that to show. And the pillowcase is very thin material. You know, it's a very cheap fabric that you can buy off Amazon for like $5 to $10. So I use this black sheet. If you watch my paisley print short videos, you know I use this black sheet for those shorts also. And if you haven't watched that video, then what are you doing? Go watch it. So yeah, so I'm just using the pattern from the front and the back to cut the lining to make sure that it's the same size, and then I'm just going to sew down the sides of this lining. I didn't sew all of it together because I was going to hem the bottom, and I felt like it would be, I just felt like sewing the sides was the best thing for me to do at this moment. But yeah, so that's what I did. Okay, so now that I sewed the lining on, I'm just putting the 2 pieces of the skirts right side facing each other, and that is what I am sewing down on the side. I also did a double stitch here because, you know, just extra security. So now that we have our skirt, it's looking good. I'm just hemming the top and the bottom. The top hem that I did is a bit interesting because I feel like I wasn't really hiding the zipper part enough because it is an invisible zipper, so you're not supposed to see it. So I think that looked a little bit weird. I could probably, you know, get a little bit more educated on zippers, but in the end it's functional and it looks pretty great for my first time, so I'm very proud. But that's basically all that I'll be doing for the rest, is hemming this the top and the bottom of the skirt. And for the middle zipper part, as you can see, I cut out the lining so that when you zip it down, you can just put it on. It's no lining interfering with your skirt. So basically I cut down the lining, just the lining. I just cut straight down to where the zipper was, and then I sewed along the sides where the seam zipper allowance, whatever you want to call that. I sewed along that edge to keep it hidden and to make sure it's still functional. And I'm gonna clean up all these, you know, all these extra loose ends, you'll see. But I'll show you guys another clip a little bit better of what I did for the zipper part. My camera, you know, it's not really messing with me when I'm recording. It likes to cut off. So yeah, I'm trying to do my best with explaining. And if you guys have any questions, then just make sure you comment them down below. But this is the end. Look at our skirts. Look at our skirts. Don't play with us. But here is the line that I did, the stitch that I did. I did a straight stitch again with the lining and the zipper seam allowance to get that out of our way. And this is the final result. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Comment down below what you'll see next, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye. I'll see y'all in my skirt on Instagram. Follow me.